Did you know that that feeling of self that you have in your body, that is thinking about yourself, that is reflecting on the past and being concerned about the future, that is located in your brain. And what we do with the awakening curriculum is, okay, the part I'm going to talk about today is not magical. It's not mystical or anything. It's very, very down to earth what is actually happening. So you have this part of the brain that is called the default mode network. And that's the part of the brain where selfing is sitting. It's the seat of the selfing. It's where you think about yourself, when you reflect upon yourself, and you think about yourself in the past and in the future. You think about what is going to happen here, now, and you're very self-centered. So the ego's seat, the selfing seat, is in the default mode network. And that is what we are on when we're on autopilot. It's just we don't have any considerations that there is not, that there's something else but me here. And we don't have any considerations that I am not in the center of everything, because that is the survival. That is where the way that we survive in the world. How can I feed me? How can I take care of me? That part is part of the default mode network. Now, what we're doing when we are working with awakening, and specifically with the awakening curriculum, the way that Todd and I work with it, with all the inquiries and all the meditations and all the lessons that you have, where you need to take it off the cushion and into your everyday life. The reason why we're so adamant about that, why it's so important, it is that we are trying to pull you out from the default mode network. We're trying to pull you in to, a little bit technical here, into what is the dorsal lateral prefrontal cortex, and then a part of the brain that is called the insula. And when we work with that bridge between those two, that is when you pull yourself up to the 5th floor. So every time you hear us say, we want you to pull yourself up on the 5th floor. And what we mean with that is that you have that meta-awareness, you have that the overview. In the first theta, we talk about how it is like pulling yourself up and seeing everything beneath you as a maze. You know, if you're in a maze and you're trying to find yourself way out, that is the default mode network. You're trying to figure out what can I do? And it's very, very selfing. Now, when you see things as they really are, without you butting in and making yourself the center of everything, but as they really are, you pull yourself up. And the metaphor we use is that you're in the maze, you're running around, you can't find yourself the way out. What you do is you climb up to the 5th floor. And then from up there, you can look down on the maze and see, oh, that is the way out. But it's also what we're using in the 4th theta when we talk about all the things you want. And the 5th theta, all the things you don't want. So when Jack is saying something to you that makes you really, really annoyed, if you stay down there in the default mode network, you would take that personally. What we are training you to do is to pull yourself up, so you have the overview over the maze, and then you can suddenly see, oh, Jack, he's talking to me like that because, because of his previous experiences, because he didn't have his coffee this morning, because he has, domestic issues. You can suddenly see things from a different perspective, where you start to meet yourself and everybody else with compassion and kindness. And having that overview is pulling yourself out from the default mode network. And it's pulling yourself into where you are aware and present in the moment, but you don't have any skin in the game, so to say. You set yourself completely free and you set other people free. But this is like riding a motorcycle. You need to practice. It's not enough that I'm sitting here and talking to you about it. And obviously, it's amazing if you use the meditations we have and the inquiries we have and you do the lessons. Amazing. I love that. But it's not enough. It's not enough. Because it's not in that hour that you're sitting and listening to a meditation or an inquiry or a lesson. It is in the 23 hours that you take it off the cushion and you practice. And you do that by, first of all, because I'm autistic, everything it comes down to logic for me. And for me, it's logic that if you have a part of your brain that you have practiced every single day of your life, obviously the pathway to that part of the brain is more solid. It's like a highway. So you need to practice pulling yourself up, becoming aware that whatever thought you have, it's just a thought. It's not truth in any way. Whatever you think about Jack, whatever you think about you, the thoughts you have about it, it's just what you used to think about it, what you have always thought about it. Like we said multiple times, that when you think about something that happened in the past, you're not actually thinking about what happened in your past. You're thinking about the last thought you had about the past, which means that that pathway is just getting thicker and thicker and wider by pulling yourself up, getting that meta awareness. You can suddenly see things for what they really are without you butting in and making yourself the most important person in the room. You can see what is actually happening, and you're setting yourself free, and you're setting everybody else free. So what I would like for you to do this week is to practice pulling yourself up. Notice the shift that it has in your center of attention. Notice how when you pull yourself up and you're moving away from the default mode network into the dorsal, lateral, prefrontal cortex and the insula, going between those two. Notice the shift that is happening because it's instantaneously. When you start to have more focus on what you see, hear, smell, taste, touch, and that is where your focus is, it's no longer here. It's in that experience that is arising now. And now it's another experience. And that is the practice that we would like for you to have, because you're pulling yourself out from believing in thoughts, believing in feelings and emotions, and instead being present with what is actually arising right now. Now you have the full curriculum at your disposal. It's absolutely free. Start to practice and let me know how you get on. Thank you. We have created a course of our first Feta material. This course will walk you step by step through all of the ways in which identification is created and selfing happens. If you've been struggling to see through the self-structure or have that first awakening shift, this course contains hundreds of tools to help you discover the selfing mechanisms when they're happening, and then see through the illusion of identification that are created. Along with over 14 hours of videos, this $49 course contains a full book worth of summaries, extrapolations on the videos, written inquiry suggestions, and other text. So work slowly, leave time for integration. This is powerful material and it can be life-changing.